Police are increasing patrols in downtown Appleton following a murder in the early morning on Christmas Eve. Elijah Dodson of Milwaukee was killed in the 100 block of South Walnut Street. Police Chief Olson released a letter saying the incident has undoubtedly shaken the community and that the police department was fully committed to addressing violent crime in the city. Anyone with information on the case or anyone who sees suspicious activity is encouraged to call the police department.
Obviously, we're here after you sent that letter yesterday to the community. So I guess, can you first start off with kind of where you are with the investigation? Is there any updates? Are you still, is there more leads? Or is there a suspect that you're targeting now that you know of? Or?
Sure. So yeah, to provide just a brief update, obviously because of the sensitivity of the case, I can't share too much. What I can say is that our detectives have been working around the clock through the holidays. They've generated some great leads. We've had some good cooperation, certainly with witnesses and folks that were downtown. That has been very helpful. We're still looking for more help, however, so if there has been anybody who hasn't come forward yet with information, I implore them to do so at this time. They continue to follow all the leads that they have. I'm confident that they will be bringing this case to resolution, but they are just getting everything put together so that they can bring a very strong case to the district attorney for prosecution.
So you don't have necessarily a suspect stand down that you're able to share right now?
I can't share any further details about that, just to make sure that I don't say anything that would jeopardize certainly the investigation at this point, but things are going well.
What was it about the incident that compelled you to write the letter that was sent out to the community yesterday?
I think it's just, you all know I've been born and raised here. I have a lot of passion for this community in ensuring the safety of our citizens. I felt the need to just reassure our citizens and our visitors and the people that live here and that utilize the downtown area that they can still come downtown and that downtown is safe. And although this is a horrible, shocking incident that happened on Christmas Eve, it shouldn't, and I don't want it to necessarily deter people from coming down here and utilizing our community. We have resources in place to ensure safety as best we can. And we continue to look for different strategies and ways to increase safety every day. That's what we do here. And so that hasn't changed. And I really felt like it was important to stress that and to share that message with the community. Yeah,
so was there necessarily any complaints you were getting from whether it be people who use downtown or businesses? Was that an influence in why this letter was sent out? Or?
Yeah, I think there were some things that we were hearing that there were some concerns being expressed about, feeling safe downtown. And I thought it was important, again, to put things into perspective that although these tragic things can happen, and they happen here, they do happen all over our country at certain times, right? And just as a reminder that, generally speaking, this is a very, very safe area. We have a great community here. People rally around each other. That hasn't changed, and I think it's important to stay focused on that.
What was going through your heart at the time of when this happened and when writing that letter? Like you said, you grew up here, so this is your community, so what was going through your heart?
It's so saddening to know that somebody's actions can result in the death of another person in the manner that happened, I guess. So shocking in the sense that when you get that call in the middle of the night to hear that something like that has happened, it's incredibly sad. I'm sad for the family that lost a loved one. I'm sad for all the people downtown that had to bear witness to such a horrible, tragic event. And feel motivated to work even harder to ensure that just never happens in this community again.
Did the victim have a connection to Appleton at all? I know he was originally from Milwaukee, so I didn't know if he came up here to visit friends or family.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that come here to utilize our downtown area, as we know, on the weekends. But beyond that, I'm not aware of any connections.
And you've been in contact with the family since?
Yeah, our investigators are certainly in contact with them, yeah.
Now, is there still witnesses you're hoping to hear from? Is there any security footage from any businesses you've been utilizing or still looking for with help in the case? Or?
Yeah, you know, the businesses in the downtown area have been very cooperative in providing whatever video and other evidence that they have to us, so they've been really good about that. I am aware that there are still some witnesses that we are aware of but are working to identify. Therefore, that's why, you know, if there is anybody that is watching this and feels like maybe they should step forward and share information, that would be very helpful to us. So yeah, there's definitely people down there that I believe probably saw what happened, and we haven't talked to them yet.
Some other communities are seeing issues with like drug trafficking and other crimes. Is this happening, or was this kind of part of what maybe have happened? I know you can't disclose a lot of the investigation, but is that maybe something that could have popped up or happened?
Yeah, I don't think that, I guess I'm not in a position to say at this time.
How do you reassure people? There was a shooting just a couple of years ago at the Apple Pub, and this one, all in the general area. How can you assure people that, you know, everything's okay?
You know, I think it's difficult in this day and age to really offer that total reassurance that you're always safe when you go different places. I do know that this community takes care of one another, that we do the best we can to watch out for one another, and I think that we have to stay focused on that piece of it, but understanding that, you know, sometimes violence does happen. As much as we do everything we can to prevent it, that sometimes these things still can occur, and we do the best that we can to hold people accountable for their actions, and hopefully that will deter the next crime from happening.
How confident are you that this is going to be solved?
I'm confident.
I know on one of your Facebook posts regarding this, I'm not sure if it was the letter, if it was the initial where you identified the victim, and there was a lot of people that were commenting about the what they would say as issues along College Avenue with the bar scene. So I guess, are you able to talk on that? Maybe, you know, is this a greater emphasis for officers now? I know there was mention of increasing patrols over there.
So we've had, you might recall about 10 years ago now, the shooting that we had at the Luna Lounge that resulted in a similar tragic death of Josh. And, you know, even back then, we've had a very concentrated effort on the downtown area for extra patrols on Fridays and Saturday nights. We have an overtime detail where we schedule 4 officers every Friday and Saturday night throughout the year that do just foot patrol down in the downtown area, in addition to all the rest of the officers that are already working. So I think that it's just a matter of taking a look at how we're deploying those resources, concentrating in maybe certain block areas, but all of those things are being looked at in terms of how we're deploying resources to get the most benefit to our citizens and our community in terms of safety. So to answer your question, yeah, we continue to look at all those different strategies and how we can best utilize the resources that we have, but the downtown area has been a concentration for us for a long time, and people, when they come downtown, they should see officers standing outside on the sidewalks and patrolling through the bars and doing what they can to be as visible as possible to try to deter things from happening.
It was that day, a couple hours prior, I was at the bar, and then a couple hours later, you know, I come to downtown a lot. So how has this, you know, homicide impacted how the community feels? You know, maybe there's just, how has it impacted the community and making them, hopefully they want to know that they're safe when they're going downtown? How has the homicide impacted that?
Yeah, I think, again, taking a look at what sorts of entertainment is being brought down to the downtown area is going to be something that we continue to look at. We know that as much as we try to be as diverse in what we offer in the downtown area, sometimes certain entertainers could draw certain crowds of people that might bring behavior that isn't going to be tolerated in the downtown area. So these things are areas that we continue to examine and look for different ways with our downtown businesses to prevent further violence from happening.
And did the shooting, did it occur inside of an establishment or like outside on the corner of Walnut and College?
The shooting was
It
outside.
was outside, okay.
And to reiterate, was it necessarily specific businesses that were reaching out with concerns prior to the letter being sent out? Was it community groups, anything of that nature that may have reached out with, you know, concerns of there's a safety along College Avenue or?
No, we've heard, we monitor our social media very closely, and we certainly can pick up on thoughts that people were having in terms of not feeling safe coming downtown, and we felt it was important to address that.
Is there anything that we missed that you feel is important?
I think we covered a lot of bases.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything. I appreciate the
Yeah.
opportunity.